One word to break you, one life to make it go, one act to cancel, one light to show the way, moving in circles in your own mind, wasted on patterns you will not find. One word to bind you, one life to guide you through. And after all the tears, that finds a place to hold and keep you in the present moment. Darker days may still arise from all the multiplied, divided, empty score. You can open up your mind, save yourself the years of mourning too. One word, one word, one word to bind you, one life to guide you through. And after all the tears you cried, and then you're sad and fear that finds you holding on. A breath to hold and keep the present days away. It's all the same, it's all one word. Time. All right, then. I need to save my work. As I was. So, hi. Oh, let's get some light in here. No wonder it was like straining me even more. I couldn't even see. But hi. Hi, everyone. I'm glad you're here. Um, so I found myself messing about with an older song, and I thought I'd bring it up and then just play around with it today. That's how I decided to start this thing. Let there be light, says my. Thank you for being here, by the way, all of you. Wendy's in the house, Adriel, Sue, Vargas, Facebook, Lorenita, my, Wendy. Who did I miss? Oh God, this chat just scrolls, man. Todd, Brian, Max, JP, JPK, Lisa Johnson. Hi, Lisa Johnson. And so there's not that many of you tonight, and that's okay because I didn't even promote that there was going to be a stream tonight because it's been such a weird week for me that I almost took a break and said, no streaming tonight. I don't want to stream. I don't want to do anything. I just want to like curl up in a ball and just go to sleep. But I didn't. I stuck it out. But mostly I stuck it out because A, I like hanging out with you people. I really do. And B, because I knew I wasn't going to get any sleep anyway. I knew I was just going to toss and turn and feel guilty. So here we are. So the topic for tonight, I think, is going to be multifaceted. But there's one thing that I have on my mind because I got a few DMs about the Tezos thing. It's throughout the week from some fans about certain mixtapes that I've put out on the Tezos platform. So I want to bring that up because I think it's important that you understand why I'm doing that. Because I know there's only a few of you that do it, and you're missing out. You're totally missing out. You're missing out on not just art, but you're missing out on good music. There's a lot of good stuff out there that doesn't follow the mainstream, put it on Spotify or even Bandcamp for that matter. But I'm going to talk about that a little bit tonight because I think it's important because we're coming up on NFT New York City week and I wish I could go and I can't. I've got too much stuff going on, so I can't go. So that's, I don't know what the heck's going on here. I hear feedback, but there shouldn't be any feedback. All right. Maybe something else is on that I don't know about. But yeah, so more specifically, here, let me pull it up because this should be interesting. So I put out a mixtape on object.com, which is what is known as an open edition. What that means is, here, I'm going to put the link in there so you can look at it yourself if you're on a computer. But if not, it'll be there for the stream, but I'll pop it back. Okay, so there it is. So it's a mixtape, and it runs for about 31 minutes, and it's got some old demos and some stuff on it. And the only way you can get it right now is through this platform. It's not on Bandcamp. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to put it on Bandcamp, but at Bandcamp, it's going to be in a different version, meaning that when like, where am I? So that when I put it on Bandcamp, all the tracks will be separated and you can buy the songs individually and all that good stuff. And you can collect it that way if you like. But there's a beauty to collecting the tokenized version because A, it runs the way I would want it to run in its whole 31 minutes, like an old tape. And there's perks to collecting it because later on, when I see who has it and who doesn't have it, I can drop things into their wallets. So that's why I've been, pushing this so much. Um, and if you've been following my NFT journey, then you know that I started off with doing some mints on wax. Sorry, I'm going to put the chat up so I can see what you're telling me here. It's really easy, Adriel. It's super, super easy. Um, so uh, basically, those tokens will be stored in your wallet. And what's cool about that is because you're holding that token, it's yours for life. No one can really take it from you. You can give it to someone else. You can, Um, Liam says, "What's up, Claude? Can you explain to us old folks how to even do Tezos in the wallet or whatever?" So I can't do a whole tutorial tonight, but lucky for you, I wrote a whole tutorial about it already. So let's see if I can pull it up. Oh man, I wasn't thinking about that. But here we go. It should be around here somewhere. And I'll pop a link up and then you can read it. It's because I don't want you to miss out. And some of you will. Some of you will wait till, of course, I don't mind that you wait until, it comes out on Bandcamp. But like I said, if you do that, you're just missing out. Let's see if I can pull. Yeah, I can. There it is. Awesome sauce. Okay. God, I can't believe I'm doing this too. A tutorial. But I'm not. But basically, if you go to this link on buymecoffee.com/anythingbox, which is basically my blog, by the way, there's an article that I wrote on how to collect stuff. Okay. And it addresses a lot of different issues that people have with, certain types of crypto. And in this case, Tezos is friendly, environmentally friendly. It's easy to do. It's not as hard as you think. You basically get a wallet and you fill it up with some Tezos by buying some through the wallet. And I think you can now buy less than $25. I think you can actually fill it up with less money. But if not, you can always go on an exchange, which is what I did. And all you need is a wallet. And then once you have a wallet, that's it. It's stored on your thing. Now, here's what's interesting. Because I know I'm going to get this question a lot. So I might as well clear it up. If you were to go to this site and see it, you can actually play it. If you want, you could even download it and not do a single thing, not pay for it, not do anything. And that's fine. If you want to just own it, that's fine. But it's not the same thing as having the token. Because I will do stuff with that token that you can't do if you just download it for free. So if you grab it and you just want to get it, just go ahead. It's a mixtape. Think of it this way. You found it on a shelf, you took it, you're good, you got it. JBK Knight says the Tezos and NFT world is an easy process. Have fun with collecting. Well, the other thing about this that I want to bring up is that it's not just about collecting A-Box stuff. There's really good art there. And there's art that I found from amazing artists. And I'm happy to support them because I feel like this is going to grow. We're in a strange part. And it goes with something else I want to talk about tonight, which is, why I want to teach you this stuff so badly is because I feel the world is changing really quick. And certain things are being devalued really quick. So it's nice to be able to store value in other things. So I'm a big Bitcoin fanatic, as you guys know. And if you don't know, I am a Bitcoin fanatic. And stuff in the world is kind of dark, man. So I feel like any escape route that you have is a good escape route. All right. um, so at least, um, anyway, so let me explain what an open edition is, because I want to explain it. So an open edition, this is what is called an open edition. So if you go down here and you look at it, it says open edition. There's been 13 copies minted. That means that there's 13 people that have actually taken the time to collect it, not just download it. And there's 12 days, 19 hours, 57 minutes left. Now, what's going to happen when that's over? When those 12 days, 19 hours, 57 minutes, when they're up, you will no longer be able to collect it and put it in your Tezos wallet. That means that's it. It's a limited edition. It's gone. You can still go back there and listen to it. You can still go back there and download it, but you won't have the token. So as of right now, there's 13 people that I can send stuff to that I want to send them things. And believe me, I've done it before. I'll do it again. And like I said, there's perks. I could do, like, for example, to give you an example, I could do a show where I say those 13 people that happen to have that edition, if they can show it in their wallet, they're going backstage. That's a perk. That's what I mean by this type of thing. And it helps the musicians out. It helps the artists out. So not to mention that it's an amazing technology and you got to try it. It's fun. But if you don't want to, that's fine. Just realize you're going to see some mixtapes being released way before they hit Bandcamp. They're going to come later on Bandcamp, but it's going to take a while. And I wish Bandcamp would do Tezos. I've emailed them quite a bit, man, to try to get them to do it. And they're kind of slow on the, they're kind of slow on, on the tip. But, so Liam has a great question on Facebook. How often will you offer these tokens? Well, let me show you something. Hold on. Let me go back because I just want to show you. Because like I said, I've been getting a lot of different, for lack of a better word, inquiries about this stuff. And this way I can have something, So here's hold on, let me just copy it. I know it's a strange topic to start off with, but I want to get it out of the way. So that's the site. And this is what my profile looks like. And you can see there's a lot of different things there, and including one token that is still sitting there, which, for example, there's been two so far. This is the Texas MTV Festival in Houston as a mixtape. All 40 minutes of it. Pretty cool. And look at the price. It's like $2, okay? So it's not like it's a lot of money. And you can use your credit card to buy it, by the way. But you do need a Tezos wallet. So it's easy. You get a Tezos wallet. You get your password. You write down your 12-word secret phrase and you put that away. This is like a lesson in crypto. Once again. So basically, I'm going to examine Tezos, but I need a prop. So hold on. I'm going to play a song. That's what I'll do. I'll play a song and then I'll show you. But so we'll start with this. Kiss of Love, the Unknown mix, and then I'll take requests along the way. So here we go. I'll put the visuals on and then I'll get my props. Thank you. I think we're back. Oh, yeah, I'm back. Why is the light not... feels like it not bright enough tonight. I don't know why. Maybe I should turn the overhead light down. No, it's okay. I can live with it. Maybe it's I messed up with the camera. That's what probably happened. Um, so thank you, by the way. Thank you for that. So where were we? Oh, my props. This is my prop, my wallet. I was trying to find something and I couldn't. But so if you go to, for example, let's see. Sorry. Let me see if I can find it. I'm trying to help you guys out because I don't want you to miss out. There you go. Hold on. So, templewallet.com. I'm going to keep talking, but I'm going to show you what you can do or should do. So, here we go. Let's see. So, templewallet.com. That's where you get your wallet. And you can do the mobile app or you can do the web extension. I don't know the mobile app. I only use the web extension. So I think the process is the same, but I'm going to show you on the web extension. So you click on it, which is nice. You say install for whatever, operating system, browser you have. So let me say, I'll just say Chrome. Add to your browser. Ta-da. There it is. I added it. Whatevs. Right? And there it is. That's the main thing that you're going to see. Import an existing wallet or create a new one. And I just want to be clear of the part that you don't want to mess up. And so I'm going to show you this now so that at least I've gotten through it. You could always watch this again and again and just figure it out. I guess it turned into a tutorial, although I didn't mean it to be that, but I guess it's what it is. So, see this right here? You're supposed to click on it so that it'll show you the protected file. So, I'm not going to keep this wallet, so don't worry. Even if you get this phrase, it won't matter. But you see that phrase that's on the screen? It says, Little Fork, SA Hungry, Vocal Rec, Pledge, blah, blah, blah. So this phrase right here is the most important part of your wallet. It's more important than your password. This is the part you can never lose, like ever. Like no one. I want to make this crystal clear. No one can ever get it back if you lose that phrase. This is the epitome of all crypto. And the reason why I want to teach you this is because it's no big deal. I know it sounds like it's a terrible thing, but it's no big deal if you lose, a $2 mixtape. But it's a big deal if you have a $27,000 Bitcoin or you bought a piece of art for $100,000 and you can't get it back. Well, you'll always see it in your wallet, but you just won't be able to access that token and send it to anyone else or sell it because you won't have your phrase. So the phrase is really important. So I'm going to go back to the screen just to show you. God, it's like a class. And that's not what I expected to do tonight, by the way, but here we are. So yeah, you take that, you write it down exactly as you see it in the order that you see it. Once you've made a backup, you click that thing, you say next, it's going to ask you, see how it's telling me here? What was word 2? What was word 4? I have to be ready to put those in. But once you do that, you would hit next. I'm not going to do it. You hit next, and what happens is you now have a wallet. And that wallet can now interact with certain sites that deal with art and music. Think of it like almost like a credit card. Every time you log into Object, You log into your wallet. If you see a piece of art you like, oh, it's 2 Tezos. I want it. You click on it. Your wallet says, you want to sign this? Yeah. You want to fill it up with some Tezos, obviously, but Tezos can be thought of as dollars at this point. But it's kind of trading almost the same now. I should check the Tezos price anyway, just because I want to see. But anyway, so yeah, once you do that, you can then go back to object and collect things. And what I was writing on the chat about open editions is the following. So I'm going to show you this particular piece that I put in there. I think it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago. I made it an open edition, and I don't know if you know, but 4 were collected, and now it's over. It's finished. That means no one else can collect it. It's done. Only the people that are here, which, surprise, surprise, 3 of them are from the A-Box fam. Although I think Richard's also part of the A-Box fam. Maybe I'm insulting him by saying he's not, but he is. But as you can see, these 4 people right there, they are the only sole owners of this piece. In fact, you don't even see my name here. I don't even own this token anymore. It's owned by these 4 people. And I can send them things because I have their wallets. So I can send them things and pop it in their wallet. So if I want them to be my guest somewhere and I decide, hey, I'm sending you a pass, I will send it directly to their wallet. That's something that you can't do with iTunes and Bandcamp and all that stuff. The closest thing in Bandcamp would be the free codes or whatever, but even that is not the same. So, Wendy, I'll DM you personally and I'll tell you how to do it. It's actually pretty easy. You just got to get a Tezos name. It costs about $5. So if you did it, you can always log in and do it. So, but anyway, that's why. Just going to go back real quick. Sorry. I'm all over the place, but I was trying to show you something. So yeah. Not going to lie. It's a cool mixtape. It took me some time to get it the way I wanted it. And it's from basically the demos from 1985 to 1987. Some weird stuff in there. Stuff I've played on the stream that you guys like. And like I said, it will wind up. It will. I promise. It will wind up on Bandcamp. But it won't have the tokenized parts of it. Robert Walker says, what's your favorite track on the DM album? To be honest, it hasn't really grown on me quite just yet. I think the last 2 songs I liked a lot. But it hasn't quite grown on me. But to be honest, again, I've been working on the 2 books for the last forever. Too much. It's driving me crazy, man. The book thing is driving me crazy. This is hard work. And it's the work that keeps on giving. But at any rate, so I got to listen to the whole thing all the way through once. And I quite liked it, parts of it. But it's not my favorite DM album. If anything, I think when I heard it, I thought, man, I feel like listening to Black Celebration or something. But I haven't been listening to music. In fact, I had this conversation with a friend of mine who just had an album finished. And he's like, can you go listen to my record and give me a critique on it and stuff? And I told him, I can't listen to your record. I can't listen to anybody's record because it'll take me away from what I'm doing. And it's just my nature. It'll infuse itself in my head. And then I won't be able to work for like 2 or 3 days until I get it all out of my system. And I can't afford to like be distracted. So I haven't been listening to any music outside of the stuff I'm working on. So it sounds weird to say this, but I've actually heard the Hope album more, only because as I work on the book, I'm referencing certain parts and songs. And so I was like, let me go back and look at that and then I'll listen to something. So yesterday I actually had to listen to the Hope album. I had it in the background while I was working on the book. I know it sounds weird, um, but it's something that, I had to do. Oh, that's nice of you, Liam. I'm not going to say anything about that comment. But JPK Knight says, can the original object profile name be changed? Um, it can be changed if you get a what they call a Tezos name. Otherwise, it just has your wallet address. And don't worry, the wallet address it's not dangerous for it to be public. But you can change the name once you have logged into your wallet, and you'll see. You can add a name in your wallet, and I think that name is the name that shows up on object. But I'll have to try it. But yeah, I don't want to mess with mine too much. But yeah, you can always change it as long as you connect your wallet and your wallet has authorized such a thing. So that's the answer to that question. We'll have to do a real Q&A with that, but it's not as hard as it seems. The only part that I'm stressing is the 12-word phrase. Make sure you save it. It's a good primer on Bitcoin because when you do a Bitcoin wallet, you also get 10 to 15 word phrase, and it's very important that you save it. I have mine written down in notebooks. I will not lose it. As well as my Tezos address. I don't keep it on my computer. I have it written down in several notebooks so that if I, So Carlos says, anything box, whatever happened to the Kiss of Love piece, Kiss of Love NFT? Oh, well, what happened with that is that I was doing something with Redbubble, and it, for some reason, it stopped working. So I have to go back into Redbubble and fix it. But once I do that, I can start doing it again. Which, yeah, those are like specialized. Those are a topic for another day. I promise I'll get back to those because some of those tokens are going to be one of one tokens, which means there's only one token, and I give it to a specific person, and But Sending Me Love says, did you post a new NFT? Sorry, I just got here. I didn't mint. Oh, I shouldn't say this. I did mint something, but therefore a social experiment, and they're not for sale. There's 2 tokens that are in there. Both of them are 2 of 2s, and they're not for sale. And in a day or so, there's going to be a 3 of 3 that's not for sale. But I can't talk about that here. I can't. There's a reason. I can't talk about it yet. But oh my gosh, Krista, don't. That will drive me crazy for sure. Yeah, Robert, you're right. Masterclass, some great reward, Black Celebration, music for the masses, and Violator. I swear to God, if I just listen to those alone, pretty darn cool. But I do like Construction Time Again. So that's another one of my favorites. So, and Eric says, I'm getting addicted to Object. Believe me, man, you will get addicted to it. I got addicted to it. Every week I buy more art than I mint. So I just love going in there and finding gems. I've just collected some amazing. Oh, no worries, Claudio. Nice to see you though. Thank you for showing up. We're talking Tezos tonight, and no. Once you buy, okay, so once you have the token, you can print it, you can frame it, you can do whatever you want with it. The only thing you can't do is remint it because that would be considered copyright. It would be like you bought it on iTunes and then you put it on Spotify. But you're definitely allowed to do whatever you want with it as far as printing it. Um, so this was the other reason that I wanted to bring it up. I'm going to refurbish. This is like coming up next week, but I'm going to refurbish my Redbubble. And remember how I told you guys that sorry, I don't mean to talk about this stuff all night. But I'm going to refurbish my Redbubble. There's not going to be shirts on Redbubble anymore. So shirts are going to be done through when you go to shows and you see me, or shirts that I make that are special editions that I myself make through someone, because I don't quite like the way Redbubble does the shirts, so I'm cutting that out. So if you want them, this is your last week. After that, no more Redbubble when it comes to shirts. But I do love the way Redbubble does prints, and I'm going to go and regut it. And there's going to be certain prints that you can order if you want the prints. And then I would make them a NFT for you. Like I would mint it in your name. So that's like something that I was doing with the with a specific NFT. So this, oh, it's just, believe it or not, this is just my painting shirt. Like this is like the dirtiest shirt I own, because I was painting earlier. And the only thing that's weird about it is that it happens to have my signature on the top. So, but see, I don't know. Also, because I'm going to New York, I do have gigs coming up. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, ooh, that's a nice request. I think I will. And I think I'll play a remix probably. Let's see. What can we play? Ooh, I know. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I am terrible. You know what's funny? I don't even know where that is. I must be crazy. I like your request there, JPK. Can it be done? Let's find out. Oh, I found something. Whoa, what is that? Huh. Well, I can't find it. I can't find any of it. So, I'll tell you what. I'm going to play something else first, and then we'll come back, and then I'll try to play it. But that's really weird because I don't see it. Man. So strange. Oh, well. Oh, maybe I found it. Sorry. I'm going to play this one that's just really weird mix, but I really like it. Fast forward. Seeming mix. And when I come back, we'll try to get into a different topic if possible. Oh, moon is up.
I see the future. I can't explain.
Whoa. The seeming mix. And of course, the chat went up like so much that the question I was going to answer is like, so thank you for the compliment, Robert Walker on Facebook. But there was a question you asked, and I was going to bring it up. It's going to be one of the topics for tonight, which is interesting. Do people fans recognize you in public? And the other follow up to that was, do you have faith in God or just spiritual? They're both completely different questions, and they deserve their own thing. But so yeah, actually it throws me off because I don't expect it. Um I wrote a so if you go to my hold on. Hold on. I'm going to bring this up because it's so funny to me. Where is it? Oh no, I lost it. It was so cool too. I think it would have made sense to post something. Oh well. Um uh, anyway, so look, on my blog, which is the buy me coffee slash endpop, the link is there, or I'll pop the link. Um, there's a article that I wrote about pseudo fame, which is an interesting conundrum to have. Um, pseudo fame is when you're famous enough that certain parts of fame affect you and things happen, but you're also not famous enough that these other situations and things that happen to like really famous people don't happen to me. So I always have this weird conundrum. So I can be somewhere and someone will stare at me and I don't know what they're thinking. I'm like, at first I'm like, is it my shirt? Is it my hat? Like, why are they keep looking at me? They keep looking at me. And it doesn't dawn on me that they've recognized me. I just think there's something going on. And then suddenly that person will be like in front of me and go, are you Claude? And I'm like, who are you? Who are you? Who says this to me? Do I know you? And then of course, they'll say, oh, I was at such and such show. And obviously I do love that. It's fun because it doesn't happen very often, which is good. However, this was interesting. It just reminded me of a story that's really funny. So I was in Peru walking through Lima and nobody recognized me, which is fine. But what was really cool, this really happened, is I see this guy carrying like this box of cassettes that he's selling on the street. And so he says, like, would you like to buy a cassette? And I was like, yeah, let me see what you got. And the first thing I popped out was Hope on cassette. I kid you not. It was Hope on cassette. And I hadn't done the exchange yet, so I didn't buy it. And it was really funny because I thought, well, I'm not going to buy it because it's like a bootleg. There's no Hope cassettes. I regret that so much because I really, really keep thinking I should have bought that tape. I should have just bought that tape. Why didn't I buy it? I didn't buy it. So, because that would have been cool, because then I would have the proof. But yeah, so that happened to me once, and I thought that was really funny. But I've also gotten really strange things like, so I was wearing, yeah, I know sounds really vain to say this, but I was wearing an A-Box shirt, and I think it's probably because it's the only one I had in the car or something. I don't know. But we were at, it wasn't Disneyland. It was something else. I can't remember. It was a water park. It could have been San Diego even. But so I'm walking around and this guy comes up to me and says, I love that band. And I'm like, well, thank you. And then he goes, me too. Just because I'm just trying to be funny because I'm thinking he recognized me, and he goes, I went to school with Claude. And I'm like, you did? In Jersey? And he goes, no, Pasadena. And I'm like, are you sure he went to school in Pasadena? Because I don't think he went to school in Pasadena. And he's like, yeah, he did. And he dated my sister. And I'm like, oh boy. Yeah, that's a strange one. So I just kept my mouth shut and said, well, that's cool. I'm glad you know him. That's rad. And I walked away because I was like, I can't destroy his dream. But at the same time, I'm like thinking, who's the dude that was dating his sister claiming to be me? Like that I wanted to know. Like who is this dude? So anyway, so it does happen and I don't mind because it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't happen often. If it happened all the time, like where I would have to go out in disguises or some kind of BS stuff like that, that would be weird and I don't know how I would handle it. I think I would still do what I do. Um oh, JPK, thank you. Thank you so much for posting that. In fact, I'm going to copy that link because see if I can. Well, it won't let me copy it. Come on. Sorry. I'm going to put it in the chat so anyone who wants to read it can read it. That's the article, The Conundrum of Pseudo Fame. And it's semi-humorous. Where it hurts me, which is like, I really want to talk about this too, because it's an answer to your question, but it's one that people don't realize that I suffer through all the time. So it hurts me because if some art thing is happening or some music thing is happening that is supposed to be for, like, let's say, unsigned artists or new artists or song contests, I can't enter it. If I enter it, it always gets rejected with, you already have a record deal. You're on Sony, which I'm not anymore, but you're on Sony, so you can't enter this. This is for like people that are independent. And I'm like, but I am independent. So there are some times where it actually works against me. Um, I found that to be interesting, especially, by the way, and some people won't understand it, but I'm just being honest. It works a lot this way in the crypto side. I can see that on the crypto side of things, people look at me like, "Oh, you're just one of those like artists that are taking advantage of the whole NFT thing because you had a record deal, you have a record deal and you're famous, so you just want to get, into it and blah blah blah. You don't belong in our community, that kind of stuff." I get that. They don't realize I am fully independent, like completely 100% independent. And so that is a conundrum because for certain people, too much, for certain, not enough. So I don't get invited to the crazy, crazy parties, but so it's just funny. So what can I tell you? So, but as far as my religious beliefs, I was brought up Catholic. Um, for a time there, I was atheist. I rejected all my Catholic roots. And I started to investigate different religions. So I actually got into, I studied Islam a little bit. I studied Judaism, and I know I just like completely destroyed that. Um, uh, and was drawn back into Christianity for a while too. So I think that my beliefs, if you want to know, are a conglomerate of those three. So I would say leaning more towards Judaism / Christianity. I know that sounds weird, but there you go. But so on occasion I do go to church. I like being in church, not to listen to the sermons, but to be in a solemn space. But that's just me. I know that there's the full on quote agnostics and atheists that are like, oh no, you have that phony belief. Sorry. I know it makes some people upset. And on the other side, I know that I have Christian friends that are like, but you can't be Jewish and Christian. What do you want me to say? Um, well, so that question that you're asking me, how do you stay humble? I don't know that I am. Like, it's a weird thing. I question myself all the time. So I could attribute it to that. Um, but one thing that I did learn from studying some of the old religions was, I get some benefit from it, which is this. I always think to myself, I don't know anything. I know nothing. I'm here to learn. I'm here to basically soak it up. And one of the things I did like about certain religions was that the main tenet of the uh, Judeo-Christian side of things is to share. And so, I just kind of, I think that keeps me in check. But, so that's it. So now you know. But I'm not afraid of, like if someone has a specific belief, like Buddhism, for example, I have definitely studied that as well. So it's not like I'm picking a hodgepodge and saying this is what I am, but I think I have a very, very good relationship with my creator. So that's that. So but I don't like to shove things down people's throat. I don't think that actually works. Bill Warren asking the question that was asked earlier. So you must have just joined us, but have you gotten a chance to hear Depeche Mode's Memento Mori? What did you think? And sorry if you've been asked this before. It's okay. The chat sometimes goes up and down so fast that I'm trying to catch up with it. I never, as you know, it's difficult to catch up with the chat. Again, so I heard it once and it didn't really grip me. I didn't hate it. But it didn't grab me, and I only listened to it once. And the reason that I don't want to listen to it, or anybody's album for that matter, you could recommend me the 10 best albums of all time that I haven't heard, and I wouldn't be listening to them right now. And it's because I've been working so hard to get these things done. Like you have no idea, like the crap I had to go through this week just to find these dumb. I'm going to show you actually. I'm going to play a song and then I'll show you what took me 2 days to do, which was stupid and ridiculous, but I have to stay in the book. If I have distractions, it takes me away from the books. And it looks like I'm on a third. Oh my God. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Anyway, that's why I'm a little upset the week, because I realize I'm creating work for myself that I don't really need. So Brian says there's something to be said for tradition. Agreed. I'm definitely a modern traditionalist, as much of a weirdness as that. But anyway, I'm going to play a song and then I'll come back and I'll show you what took me days to find and why. It was requested. I'll turn on the visuals for this. Love will tear us apart again. From the diaries. So Liam says, did you know that they play the original of that song when Manchester City wins a football match? No, I did not know that. That's flippin' cool. That's awesome. No, I had no idea. Hmm. Oh, welcome, Scott. Hi. Um, thank you guys. Thank you so much for that. So what took me a whole 2 days to find? So I had to go through my garage because I needed something from the old archives and I couldn't find it. So the first thing that I needed was these drawings that I thought were in this book right here. But it turns out they're not. And it's like a book that I still can't find, which drove me crazy. It almost got me depressed because I think, oh, is that one of the books that got destroyed in the flood? Because, yeah, there was a flood and there was a bunch of stuff that got lost. But what I was looking for was these old press photos from the Hope era that I was going to try to put in the book, which is that one. Hilarious, man. Look at that. I was a youngin'. So that one and this one, which if you saw some of the postcards, it was these 8x10s that I had drawn all over. So anyway, I had to find these two stupid 8x10s because they're the only two left at all. And I was like, I need to have one of them for the book. So I don't know that both of them are going to be in there, but one of them is going to be in there. And this, which some of you may have, which is the newsletter. When we used to do newsletters. And what's particularly interesting about this one, by the way, was that this newsletter was the first newsletter where the entire thing was basically laid out on a computer. So this was the first computer art I ever did. And hey, where is it? Whoops. Is it still in the scanner? Hold on. Don't go away. Funny stuff, man. It's funny stuff I'm going to show you. So these are two of my first digital art pieces from 1994. So this was right after Hope. But the reason that I want to put them in the book, or at least talk about them a little bit, or feature one of them in the book, is that you can see that they're still from the era. So in other words, the style of the era is in there. The landscape thing and, the odd mountains and the bird, things that would later show up. And so, of course, I found this, which many of you probably never seen, which is, it wound up being the CD art for Hope when it was on CD. So I found that too. And the original. So that was cool. And I found this, which really thrilled me. That right there is the very first page of the diary birds, the different birds for the diary stuff. And I was really happy to find these drawings, especially this one, because inadvertently, not on purpose, but I've been trying to get the diary page 1 also coming up. So like, I want, because, it was one of my first things that I'd done with the computer, and you can't even see some of the stuff that I intended to be in there that were printing mistakes, like of a newbie. A lot of people don't know, but can I show you? Yes, I'll show you. So a lot of people don't know this. So you would have to like literally get this album. This is the only one I have left on CD, by the way. No, I'm not selling it. But you would have to like look at it in certain light because it just looks like there's black all around it and it looks like there's nothing but black here. And that's actually not the case. When this was done, there were these trees that are supposed to be all over the place back here that are supposed to be barely visible. And because I didn't know anything about printing when I was doing this, because I didn't, um, I thought that 90% was fine, like basically. And it looked fine. I could barely see the trees on the computer. And I thought, well, it's going to look cool. No, it just printed black. So you have to like squint and you might get a glimpse of one of the trees here, but honestly, you can't see them. And so recently I was like, oh, I should redo it. And the inside was pretty horrible because the only thing that's in there is like, you know, so yeah, supposed to be trees. The inside has trees, but those trees are supposed to be out here. You're supposed to see them. Um, Let me show you how that would look. So it's kind of funny. Different topic, but nonetheless, supposed to kind of look like this. Where is it? You're really hanging out with me today. So, different painting or different piece, but you'll get the idea. So, can you see that? You see that there's figures and they're barely visible against the black. If I put it just so, you might see them. So see, there's figures there. But if you actually look at this notebook, it's almost impossible to photograph this because it's black. So it's like black on black. So you're supposed to see trees here and they don't show up. So recently I started messing with that artwork again, like going back to it and saying, man, so, ooh, I didn't see, wait, what do you mean? Yeah, exactly. You had to have the right scans and, oh my God, it was terrible. Terrible. And most of the scanners only printed, sorry for the nerdy bits here, but the scanner that I had was so bad. Let me explain. I wish I had it still for a different reason, but I had a scanner that literally you had to scan by hand. It was a hand scanner. So in order to keep it straight, I had to build a wood thing, like a wooden guide, so that it wouldn't move. And I would have to physically move the scanner across while the page was underneath manually. However, I wish I still had it now because now I'd be doing these weird things with it. But, I don't know what the heck happened to it. But yeah, I was an early adopter. And due to some really, really newbie mistakes, I messed up my own artwork. So I definitely want to spend some time with the old diary album and see if I can like re-release it and, fix it because it's one of the things I want to do. That one's special to me, especially page one is really special. So I want to make sure that one is represented. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Claudio, I had a hand scanner and it was impossible to keep it straight. So I had to I built a guide for it. And that's how I did this stuff. So yeah, it was pretty bad. And these, it could be called glitch art now, but I wasn't trying to make them pixelated. They just came out that way because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So, oh, that's funny. I can't even repeat that, but that's funny, Robert. That's hilarious, man. So anyway, so yeah, so it took me like 3 days to find these stupid 8x10s and that newsletter because it was buried under crates of stuff. And I was going to literally give up on those pages. And I was very lucky because not only did I find those things, I found a treasure trove of other things. Um, so I think the Hope book is going to be really cool. Um, and and then when I wasn't working on the Hope book, I was working on the new album stuff, which is its own nightmare for a different reason because the artwork on that is all brand new and that needs to be worked still. Still have a lot to do. So, I'm trying. I'm trying to get it done, man. It's hard. But I'm trying to take advantage of all this free time while I don't have shows. But I have to admit, this week was quite depressing because it seemed to move so slowly. But so I'm being asked. Robert Walker on Facebook says, "When Tower Records closed, did you and other artists panic for a hot minute, or did the internet already take over?" It's a good question. Um, I wasn't that worried because at first because we were independent, so we were selling records, or I should say CDs, to the record stores that were very independent. So we had like this community of independent record stores that we would hit up in Texas, Colorado, New York, all these different places. So it helped tremendously that we didn't rely on the major ones like, Virgin Megastore, remember that? Or Tower Records. So it wasn't so bad. Um, but anyway, so yeah, there's no release date yet because I'm in the trenches with it. But I will tell you this: last week I remastered the entire Hope album, and it sounds really good. Um, uh, I feel like it sounds really really good now. Um, so I went back to my original masters and took a look at them and went through all these things. And there might be an extra remix on that too. Now, I might stick a different remix on the end, just because we could. Um, but yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to get it done. It's tough working on both at the same time. It's not like I can finish one and then work on the other because then it literally would take twice as long. So what I'm trying to do is slowly work on both and slowly finish both. So I'll work on 4 pages or 5 pages, 6 pages, whatever it takes. But I've been averaging about 4 pages of each as much as I can. So that's not 8 pages a day. That means four. So 2 and 2 or 4 and 2 or, so that's what I'm trying to do. Um, the answer is yes. But Adriel, you're asking me if the diary is on Spotify. It is actually already is. Do a search for the diary page 1 on Spotify and it'll show up. There's 3 albums by the diary, by the way. I'm about to play one now. Been in that mood lately. But yeah, so sorry. I don't mean to sound like a commercial here, but to answer Bill's question, the book and the CD will be sold together as a limited edition. So there'll be a book with a CD inside it for both Hope and the new album. And I think there's only going to be about, I'm guessing, 200 copies of the book. And then after that, we'll see how it goes. And then there'll be, of course, the Bandcamp release and Spotify and all that stuff. But yeah, the book will be very limited edition. And I'm trying to get you guys into the Tezos thing very specifically for the open editions that are going to be in both. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when you open that book, there's going to be open editions in there. And you can definitely count on there being Tezos stuff in there for both books. So it is what I'm doing. So you don't have to have them, but there's going to be some stuff in there that'll be pretty unique and worth having. So, um, especially the new album, because there's stuff in there that I've got planned that's really, really out there, which is why it's taking a little longer. But there's a lot of logistics involved. And I mean that logistics. I spent 2 days working out URLs, which is really stupid. I don't want to, but there's no one else that's going to do it for me. So I have to kind of, just do it. So, but yeah, so I am going to do a diary mixtape coming because of the blues one. I think that one deserves to be by itself, because if you hear it nonstop, that one sounds very different. While Matt on Facebook says, may need a quick Tezos refresher course. It's on this stream, because if you just joined us, the very, very first half hour, I literally did a whole refresher course. And if you're watching on YouTube tomorrow, today, whenever it publishes the darn thing, the link to the article for collecting Tezos will be on this video itself. And I'll have it on the, so it's there. So it is easy. And I definitely recommend you do it. But not so much for me. I'm just telling you, there's so much good art on Tezos. It's crazy how good it is. And I'm so upset that I'm not going to go to NFT NYC. I really wanted to be part of it this year, but I'm too busy. I wish I wasn't so busy, but I am. I am too busy. I don't want to distract myself for a week and then realize I've got shows, rehearsals, and I didn't catch up on book stuff. So I'm trying to get the book stuff in. I don't have much time. This week, I may have to do a detour to do some tax stuff, which obviously everybody's got to do their taxes, right? But it gives me a short window of time to try to finish up. So I'm trying to at least wrap up as much as I can by May, because coming up in June, I already have New York. So Tezos artists are the best. Yes, they are. And I love the community. So definitely, I definitely want to support it in any way that I can. So, but anywho, let's play a song. I'm going to play something from, I don't know what this is. I don't even know what it is. It could be really bad. It just says, no, never mind. I'll just play it. Here you go.
Do you dance?
Not gonna joke. I'm so not in the mood for happy songs tonight. I don't know why. I'm like in a mood. Uh, I'm in diary mode. So this is the other thing I wanted to tell you, which is so weird. Um, so this happens. I I will go into what I call a writing phase. Like, I'll feel like writing songs. And there's a push pull, right? It's like I want to, but I already know I'm like in the middle of other things. And it's like, not that there's anything wrong with just recording songs, right? So there isn't. But it's that weirdness of like, I don't want to get into like a writing thing because then I'm going to get upset if I can't get to record them. And I've got stuff in the queue and I'm like trying to work on all these different things and then art and blah, 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 blah and but I think that because I've been in a weird sort of diary mode this week, um, the darker art has been coming out, and that's been leading me to a different style, of music. So it's been like, I don't know, like it's been weird to try to like reconcile it. So you can imagine I'm working on the Hope album and I'm thinking of all the happy songs and I'm like, I have to put it aside. I have to put myself aside to work on the book in earnest and give it all I've got. So it's been a bit tough this week when it comes to that stuff because it runs counter to what I want, which is I just want to work on new stuff because, you don't want to work on old stuff. So, and as far as the new album's concerned, I want to finish it as well. But at the same time, they are also songs that I've, brought back and reworked and re-recorded. So I'm in the mode which like, I want to just be done with these two so I can focus on something completely different. And then, of course, the diary stuff showed up, started popping up all over the place. Because remember, or you guys don't know this, but I'm going to tell you, page one came out in 1994. So it was right after Hope. So basically, two completely different points of view, one after the other, quite following each other. So, yeah. So working on Hope put me in that, like, this is what happens. This is why I don't like to listen to, quote, other records while I'm working on stuff. Listening to Hope reminded me of processes, going through the journals to grab the drawings and the sketches. I saw all the processes that led to the next record, and I'm like, oh, wow, I forgot about that. And then you're like, now you're in diary land. So, yeah. So I've been doing a lot of darker black and white stuff that's supposed to be more towards page one, which is funny. So indirectly, I now have enough art to literally put out a diary book. So that's how much I've been working on art, while I'm trying to not listen to music and working on just the new stuff. So it is a bit of a pain, but anyway. But I was going to play something from page one, but not Interleave, because I think I played that last week. So that's on last week's stream. I'm pretty sure I played it last week, but there is one I was going to play. I guess I'll play it and then I'll take phone calls. So meanwhile, I will show you if I have it. Uh-oh. Is it gone? Uh-oh. There it is. Yeah. So that's the number. You'll be able to call me after the next song. So I'm going to play one more. And right after that's done, I'll start taking calls. This is, which one am I playing? I had it all. Oh, there it is. Contempt. See, that's the mood I'm in. Contempt.
this needful blood has been fulfilled. I can see the weakness and decay. I can't seem to make it go away. It means nothing at all. 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 It means nothing at
So I just turned on the phone line, and yeah, you can call me if you like. The number is 562-380-0626. Feel free to call and make a comment, a request, say hello to the wonderful people on the chat, um, ask a question, whatever you like. And there it is.
Call from My.
Hi, Mai, you are on the air.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good that you called. It's about time. I know the
I
people on the chat are going to be
know.
like, it's about time.
I'm sorry it took me so long. I just either like the first time you did it this time around, I was sick, and then I end up with shows on a lot of Fridays because I really like supporting a lot of local music, and it just something always comes up. So
You know
I
what's
just
funny? You brought up another point. There was
yeah.
so I'm going to bring this up, and we'll chat about this particular topic. So one of the things that was I'm not going to say making me depressed because it wasn't a depressing thing, but it was one of those weird, like, when you get that self-doubt thing that just kind of creeps in. I was like
Mm-hmm.
thinking today, like, you know, all restrictions are pretty much done. No one's really like having to stay home anymore. So like, is the Friday thing even important at this point? Because like, there's no more quarantine really. We're not all stuck inside. So I'm sure everyone's venturing out in the world now. So I was like second guessing myself, like, should I not do it then? Like, what if nobody shows up? Like, so like these were my thoughts. Just thinking about like, because people have other things to do on Fridays now. Because the world is trying to move into a different phase. But
Mm-hmm.
but I'm happy that you like to go and support local bands and things like that. I know that that's something that you do, and it's really awesome. Um,
Thank you. Yeah, and I think it is still important because, well, especially with it warming up right now, you're going to see more outdoor shows, more outdoor things. And, but I think even though I noticed there's a little bit of a low turnout, at least on Facebook, it's, there are the people that really look forward to it. And like, I know that, I know Wendy's done it before. We've been at shows and like, we still check in from
that's
there.
awesome, though.
We're
I
like,
like that.
hey, we're like, hey, we're at a show, but we want to say hi.
Hey, that
So,
always puts a
you
smile on
know,
my face, so I'm happy about that.
well, good. I'm glad. And so, yeah, I mean, it's, it's, I think it's still really important for a lot of people that, we're still showing up here and there. And, I think that even with a smaller group, I guess you get to kind of focus a little bit more on the conversations instead of the chat scrolling by so quickly.
Yeah. Can you
And
imagine
so,
like if I'm going to project into the future like some crazy thought. But can you imagine if like new record comes out or like something happens with the Hope book and then it becomes like 600 people on the chat, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to take phone calls.
yeah,
I think that
that
would
would,
end
yeah,
right there. Like I think so, because
yeah,
then the crazies would come in too. Like so, I
oh,
feel
oh
like
yeah,
So I think it would be a bit bizarre. So
yeah,
so for
totally.
now, it's like we're like in this little thing, but I will say that even if it was that many people, I still would try doing it. I would give it my all to see if it would work. So, because I
Yeah,
do love it.
absolutely.
But I'm happy that you get to go out and have your Friday. That's awesome. I'm
I've been
all for it.
enjoying a lot. Yeah. Yeah. So the thing that has been on my mind that, originally I first thought when, unfortunately my voice was really shot was, and I hope you don't mind if we backpedal a little bit because it's still kind of the topic that we still talk about around here a lot is the AI art and copyright thing.
Mm.
Um, so I was having a conversation with my 12-year-old, my kids. It's interesting to see how they get their information about all this because, my older daughter, she is on a lot of the other younger social media things that I don't use. And, even my 12-year-old watches YouTubers who talk about this stuff. So we had been talking about who owns the copyright on some of this AI generated art. And we went back, of course, to the monkey in the photograph and the selfie. And the monkey's name is Naruto, by the way.
That's
And
awesome.
so
Naruto.
when,
Like
yes, that's the monkey's name.
that's so that's awesome. Like the
So
anime Naruto?
yeah,
That's
yeah, that's the name of the monkey.
that's so rad.
So so when we were talking about how with the AI art, how there's a program that's gone and culled and harvested all these images, and then there's the user who enters these parameters, and the AI develops from there. And my son had something very interesting to observation. He says, "So then the user is the monkey,"
Yeah.
and I said, "You're right, you're right. But in this case, the user is a person who technically could hold a copyright, but you're right. The user who then owns the copyright, well, then to me, it would be the programmer that created the program that went out and harvested because
Yeah,
he would
that's
be the
that's where it's gonna
equivalent
get
of
interesting.
the photographer.
Yep.
So, so yeah, and then of course my dad went one further, saying, well, then it might not even be the programmer; it's the person who hired the programmer. So it's just whoa, just thinking about it.
Yeah,
But
it's unraveling in a strange thing. The other thing that occurred to me, and I actually posted this on it was a very good article, or I should say post. So let me explain this because it's an odd one, but I'm glad you brought it up actually. Um, so what I saw was a bunch of posts between programmers who program the AI stuff, talking amongst themselves about we've built our own um, data gathering units. Basically, they're recreating Facebook the way that Facebook grabs all possible data. And he explained how the new AI, the structures for these programs are actually having the users add to the data collection process. So every prompt that you give it is actually helping to collect your data and everybody else's. It's really
oh
strange.
wow,
So
yeah,
inadvertently, we're helping to build a bigger, meaner, nastier version of Facebook because you can
ooh,
bet it's going to be completely advertisement driven. It may not happen this year, but it's definitely going to happen next year. So it's just going to inundate our feeds. The only thing
wow,
that makes me happy about this whole thing, because I'm not against people who use AI as a tool, because there's some people that use it
mm-hmm,
as a tool. So I
mm-hmm.
understand that part. What makes me happy though is that human made art, whether it's digital or analog, meaning people who purposefully do not do the AI thing, right? I'm going to call it Al. People who don't use Al to do the art and stick to just their tools and their traditional methods, they're going to become so rare that in actuality, fine artists are going to see a boom. And I think it's going to be a reversal of fortune. So I don't want to add to the data collection aspect of it, so I don't use it.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to do text prompts. I'm not going to do any of it. I did it once to see how it works. It didn't do what I wanted, and it didn't have any idea of how to really talk about or how to present the image that I gave to it. Now, obviously, people will say, "Oh, you just didn't type it in right." I don't care. I got enough of it to know that it's not for me. I'm my own
Hmm.
AI. So, and I know I'm nuts enough to do like weird things with my own work, so I don't have to worry about it. So I feel like um people don't know this, but I know that Maya also does art. I happen to know this about Mice, and I've seen her art. I have some of it. I do. So I believe that people who do traditional art or you know digital art without that is going to be more valuable. So you know,
Absolutely. And I was just talking to my niece about that, and she came up with just out of there. She said at one point you're going to have art that is certified organic because it's not AI produced; it is human made. And she said just think about the way food production. You
yep,
first had people that had their self-sustaining farms and gardens, and then you moved into the mass production and the GMOs and all the everything that went into
right.
mass producing food. And now you see this return of people wanting to go back to organically grown food.
Absolutely. Like
So
I
she's like,
go
we're,
I go looking for my favorite tomatoes at the farmers market when I can. Do you know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
So obviously that's going to happen. It's going to get to a point where, the other side of it, and it's again, I'm not trying to come down on people who want to make art with this stuff cuz I get it. I get that there's people out there and I don't want to seem like I'm bullying or being mean to them. There's people out there that say I've never painted a picture in all my life, but I've had good ideas for pictures. So I get that they're so excited to say, you know, angelic butterfly flying over a mountaintop with teddy bears all over the landscape, and then they see it and they're like, "Oh my god, it made this for me." So I get the beautiful part of that is that yeah, they get to see that happen. And so I'm not,
absolutely.
yeah, and I'm not taking that away from them.
Yeah.
However, it's going to be the idea of, wow, I really like that picture of, the thousand teddy bears in a landscape. Hey, GPT, can you make me a landscape full of bunnies with the same field, same sky, same approach, but ditch the teddy bears for rabbits? And now you have the same painting just with rabbits. And then someone's going to say, oh, well, I want to do it with tomatoes. And so there's a sameness that comes with that. And I think that that's where you're going to see, like, I'm already seeing it. I can see the oversaturation of it already.
Hmm.
Like I can't look at one more AI skull or one more AI astronaut wearing thing or another AI anime wannabe. I can't do it. It's to
Yeah.
me, it looks the same as a million other things that came before it that look exactly the same. And that's the difference. It looks exactly the same. It hasn't changed. So I would rather go see someone's badly drawn anime art, meaning that, they're still really rough around the edges. And I would prefer that.
Hmm.
And so I think that the organic side of it, where someone says, this is how I make art, and it's not perfect, and it's not photographically right, and it doesn't have six fingers on the hand, at least. That was a joke. Because you know about AI and hands, right?
Yeah. Are they making weird hands?
They can't,
I can.
for some reason, they have problems with hands. So if they try to do something where the hand's doing this, I don't know if you can see it, but if the hand does something like this, it usually has an extra finger or something. They
Oh,
can't
how
get the hands
funny.
right.
Yeah, that's funny because like I know that my daughter, her biggest thing in drawing figures is hands. So she I had to get her the little hand dummy, the little wooden hand.
Well, not that I'm
It's,
that good at hands either, because I think my characters don't even have hands. So, not that I'm claiming that I'm better at drawing hands than an AI, but I'm just saying that it's funny how it's getting better, and the sameness of it is still the part that bothers me.
yeah,
Um, and obviously the copyright issue is an issue. Wait till you hear music done that way.
well, writing, and recently, Raymond Hayter, Pacific Deep. We love his cover of Rise on the tribute album, and he had fed one of his songs in there to see what the AI would write as far as a review. And I looked at it and I said, wow, it really points out the imagery that's created by his music. And I thought, wow, that's really great that the AI generated that. And I made the joke about it. I said, well, that's really cool. I said, since that doesn't have to deal with the stress of deadlines, I mean, what am I supposed to do? And of course, him and a couple other people were like, oh, no, we love the way you write. We love that you are, human.
Well, see,
And so,
that's the other side. Oh man, it gets
and
into this weird topic, but I'm gonna definitely stay on this topic for a minute because you brought up another interesting point.
mm-hmm,
We already have what I consider to be peer pressure production things where everyone's like, oh, kick drums have to sound like this. They need to be this particular type of sound. This is the way you're supposed to EQ them. This is the way you're supposed to put them in there. And it becomes a thing where everyone wants to fit in. So everyone's kick drums and snare drums and whatnot always sounds the same to me. And I'm not knocking anybody's music, by the way, but I'm just saying I hear this a lot. And now you have a machine that says, this isn't in style right now. And you're doing something that's 6 years old and really we're gonna like update you. And people second guess themselves to begin with. Like most artists are already going to second guess themselves. Like, am I really doing stuff that's 6 years old? Like, do I really want to do this? And I feel like a lot of people will uh, take a step back from their own creativity and allow something else to take over. Like, okay, tell me how I should do it rather than
mm,
what do I feel inside that has to come out. Like, that's what I really want artists to do. What do you feel growing inside of you that has to come out? That it doesn't matter if you scream it or whisper it or whatever it is that you want it to come out. And I feel like that's where people are going to be. Not only is it not in style, but AI is actually going to do it better than I am, or have a
mm-hmm,
better, or think of a better chord progression than I would have thought of. And it's like, well, yeah, but maybe yours being wrong or being dissonant or not being quite right is going to be the thing that makes me fall in love with that song. Whereas this one is
mm-hmm.
going to be so damn perfect, so perfectly done that it's sterile and useless. So like that's my internal fear, but not for myself, but for others. I'm so
Yeah,
weird
absolutely.
that I don't care. Like I really don't care. I'm at a point where I don't care. So like me, I can hit record, play two notes, and I'm like, okay, that's it, it's done. I don't care. um
Yeah.
but it's going to take a lot of stick like what's the word, what phrase I like, keep on keeping on from the
Mm-hmm.
artist to like avoid the you know so. And there's another, so someone wrote something on the chat, I want to address it. It says, do you think, Brian, on YouTube, do you think it's possible to combat AI generated music with vocals, especially in a case of readily available media, where a lot of readily available media exists, legally or otherwise? Well, that's the problem. I heard that just within a year, it will be able to mimic my vocal. And basically, someone can go and say, hey, I want a synth pop song in the style of anything box with Claude's vocals on it. And it will be able to
Mm-hmm.
generate such a thing. And it isn't me, so I can't sue it. It may sound just like something I might write, but I can't sue it for that. Obviously, I can't, and I wouldn't anyway, because it's like, you wrote it, I didn't write it, so whatever. But it's the idea of like what I
Mm-hmm.
saw in comments to that was the part that scared me, where people were saying, but I'd love to just generate new Led Zeppelin songs for myself because I love Led Zeppelin. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not Led Zeppelin. It's not gonna be, even
Yeah.
if it sounds exactly like them, it isn't gonna be that. So you're cheating yourself because you'll oversaturate your own tastes to the point where you're almost numb to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
that's the part that scares me.
I think that's when it becomes background noise instead of
Yeah.
music that you actually listen to for the quality of the artist. And yeah, that's, yeah, I,
You know,
that,
so I
it feels,
so I don't yeah, so I don't equate it to like because someone I had an interesting conversation with someone about sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I had an interesting conversation with someone about they were trying to the argument was, well, you guys got a lot of flack for drum machines and synthesizers doing the job of musicians. And that argument is old, but it doesn't address the real problem here or the real issue. Back then, I wasn't into drum machines because I wanted to replace drummers. I was into drum machines because I wanted a beat. And the beat I wanted, I didn't even want it to sound like a real drummer to begin with. I was looking for a specific sound that was very different than a traditional drummer. Because if I wanted a traditional drummer, I would have gotten one.
mm-hmm.
Um, so that's one aspect. And then electronic music, we're trying to make sounds that don't exist in the real world. Where a lot of us are trying to make music with electronic noise and sound, which is different. I'm not trying to emulate a guitar, not specifically, maybe at times, but not all the time. I'm trying to do very different things. It's not the same as me saying, I want David Gahan's vocals on my next album, even if it's not David Gahan, but I want him in there. And I want him to be the backing vocalist instead of the lead, because that's my ego. Can you imagine like the feeling that someone would get like listening to something like that and going like, that's kind of icky, you know,
Yeah.
like really? You really think that's okay? Like doing that is going to be okay? Like, so that's the part that bugs me, you know? So again, I don't worry about myself. It's a weird thing. I'm not worried because I still love holding a camera in my hands and going out into the middle of a field and taking photograph of random crap and being totally happy with myself about it. Whether it sells or not is going to only be a concern if AI is selling my merch with my name on it. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
long as it's
Yeah.
doing imitation stuff, hey, it's going to be like, well, if you want to know who the original is, or the organic, or the
Yeah.
human, here I am. You know, like so that part of it, I think, is going to be better for us in the end. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. And after discussing the AI generated review of Pacific Deep's work, I was telling my niece about it. And we're discussing this stuff, and I said, when we talk about all the stuff that's harvested out there for the visual art, it still kind of struck me that the way that this AI identified the imagery that's created by this guy's music. And then it dawned upon me. I've been published, I have a review of the last Pacific Deep album in a UK print magazine. My words are out there.
Yep.
My words describing specifically Raymond Hayter's Pacific Deep music as creating imagery.
So there you
I
go.
just like gobsmacked. I'm like, oh my God,
It
I've
scraped
been
you.
harvested.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
and I realized, and I was, oh my gosh, how violated I felt. But yeah, I mean, if you put anything out there, you're contributing to what's being harvested, and so that brought up another concern about my content, protecting my content, where I put my content. My husband still keeps trying to encourage me to do a blog because I've been sitting on the domain name mayajawa.com for a few years, and but then I'm like, oh, if I do something, it's going to be out there,
Well,
and it's going to get harvested. But what can you do?
you got to do it anyway. Yeah. Yeah,
Thank you.
that goes to a different conversation, but I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad you brought it up. I'm going to give you some tough love on that one.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, no, you still have to do it because I remember a bunch of friends of mine literally giving up on music when MP3s came out because their viewpoint on it was if people are going to steal it anyway and I'm not going to make any money from it, why bother? And you know, I get the argument, or I got the argument back then, but my thought process was no, you still need to put it out because the idea of releasing music or wanting to release stuff is for other people to consume it. Otherwise, you're staying in your
Hmm.
room. So this is a funny thing. I think I brought this up last week too. My friend, I used to have, God rest his soul, he's dead now, but I had a friend who used to say this to me all the time, and he was a lot older than I was. He used to say, there are no real artists in the world. And I was like, yes, there is. Of course there is. He goes, no, there isn't. He goes, the real 100% unequivocally artist for his own right never needs to leave his room. He will never need to put out anything. He will never need to do anything. He does it only and exclusively for himself and doesn't even show it to anyone. Everybody else is an exhibitionist. At least admit that. And it was funny. And I understood what he meant, meaning
Hmm.
if you do it for yourself and you're mad that no one's buying it or looking at it, you can't be mad because you didn't put it out there. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So you have to put it out there. Now, once it's out there, now you're dealing with the real world and it has real world consequences, which is stealing, loving it, hating it, buying it, not buying it. These are the real world consequences of all these things. I have to face them every day, you know? So, like someone tells me, well, what do you think when you go to some Russian site and there's the Peace album in its full glory? Like, what am I supposed to think? Yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, it just means a bunch of Russian kids are getting into peace.
There you
And it has
go.
nothing to do
There's
with me working
Yeah.
on the album here or doing shows and playing them for people and, that kind of thing. So you got to do it no matter what, even if you get
Yeah.
scraped. Because let me tell you, 2 years from now, I may hear a song with my vocals on it. I can't,
The-
I can't let that affect me and then say, oh, I can't put music out anymore. No, it's never going to happen. The day that I don't put out music or art, it's because something's happened to me.
exactly. It's creating is how I know I'm alive.
Yes. So
Yeah.
create and work.
Absolutely.
All right. So what do you want to hear?
Yeah.
You're gonna take
You
us
know,
out.
oh goodness. You were saying you were feeling kind of diarrhea-ish. It's been rainy and chilly here in South Texas this past week, and I have been also listening to rainy day music. And um, you said the diary, and Monsters is my favorite one. And but that almost sounds like it's kind of upbeat.
No, I got the. It's okay. That one's got the right tone.
It's still got, yeah, it's still got that. It's gray. We're gonna get through it. But I
Yeah.
want to be melancholy for a little bit and wrap up and
Well, I'll do.
wallow in misery.
I'll do it. I'll do it like this. So I just queued it up. I have the remix version, which is a little extended, so it's a little more dancey. So it's got both. It's got the dark thing,
Okay,
it's got the light thing, and with that, we'll make it end. All right.
awesome, good balance. Well, it's nice to chat with you finally.
Thank you, and I appreciated your topic. I loved it. Uh,
Oh, good. Well,
so
thank you.
Cool.
Okay.
So I'm
well,
gonna
you take care.
thank you. Thank you, Mai.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. So I'm gonna play the extended version of Monsters. That'll take us out. I said monsters like that little cartoon carrier, like cartoon carrier. The cartoon characters on Bugs Bunny. Monsters are such interesting people. Like that's funny. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have this weird. I have a weird I have weird mentality. Don't you understand? I can be funny and completely sad at the same time. but if, but it's the way it came out of my mouth. Oh, the first thing I thought of was Bugs Bunny, just doing the Marvin. Claudio B. Marvin, yeah. Monsters are such interesting people. Anyway. So with that, I say thank you for that super chat, Brian. Thank you for all the super chats, by the way. I don't know how many there were, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Monsters, the extended version, when it used to be free as a free download on the old diary site. And with that, I will let you go. I'll turn off lights while it's playing, and I will see you next week.
I think it's time for you and me to wake up. Get up, get up, get up. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. Get up, get up, get up. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. 'Cause nothing's getting better. Give up the monster sleeping under your bed. Give up the hooligans hanging round your head. To take control and seize your heart, you lose yourself before you start. I think it's time for me to walk, but not before I've said it all. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. Get up, get up, get up. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. Get up, get up, get up. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. 'Cause nothing's getting better. Give up the monsters breathing under your skin. Give up the facts and figures, it's just all in vain. You will never seem to find, and I will never quite define who can say what all this is. 'Cause when you die, you won't forgive. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. Get up, get up, get up. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. Get up, get up, get up. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. 'Cause nothing's getting better now. I will see you in the end. I don't want to lose again. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. Get up, get up, get up. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. Get up, get up, get up. I think it's time for you and me to wake up. 'Cause nothing's getting better now. 'Cause
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?